Peace to the tribe, peace to the collective. Going to do something different today because mm-mm, it is. Yeah. So what I'm trying to do is bear with me for just one moment. I'll set this up. Just going to do a quick live on the full moon. I just want to make sure y'all can see it, but maybe y'all can't. I don't know. Me and computers, we got a love-hate relationship. Relationship. That's all I want to see. Peace, everybody. Peace, everybody. So I'm doing this live from Zoom. And the reason that I'm doing this live from Zoom is because I'll be able to annotate and point out different things that I'm going to be talking about as opposed to just talking about it and y'all saying that I sound like a retarded Asian, right? Don't want to be sounding like that. So it's good to annotate. It's good to show y'all what I'm talking about. And the reason that I just went live is because I literally looked at the chart and the chart showed me a real clear message, right? And this message is the interaction between the sun, the moon, and Jupiter. So if you got notes, it's good to take notes because you need to reflect on what I'm about to say, because what I'm about to say is important for 2024. Because when we deal with Jupiter transits, all right, Jupiter transits mark the year, okay? Meaning that Jupiter will spend a year in this particular sign and energy. So from a sidereal point of view, Jupiter will spend the majority of the year in Aries, moving into Taurus, but mostly in Aries. So the overall gist of 2024 is new beginnings, right? Now, the problem with new beginnings that Jupiter is plagued with is the stories that you tell yourself about 2023, 2022, 2021, 2020, so forth and so on. The trick of 2023 was starting over, right? Starting over in a new beginning is two different things. Because when we started 2023, let's just look at where Jupiter was when we started 23. So I got to remember, stop annotating, and then I could just go to transit chart and then go back. Hold on, maybe I can come up with a simpler. Yeah, I can just go 1 year and just go back. So if y'all can pay attention, if y'all can see what I'm talking about, Jupiter is in Pisces at the beginning of 2023, sidereal. So that is a year of starting over. And if you ever wonder what Pisces energy looks like and feel like for a whole year, welcome to 2023. But it's okay because you have to start over. You have to start over. Everybody has to start over. Like nobody continuously lives a life where they're not on some form of a cycle of life, death, and rebirth. So you really should reflect on 2023, not as such a bad year or such a bad time, but really think of it as a time of you completely flipping the script on what your life looks like and how you're going to move forward. It's a natural process. Snakes do it every year, or I wouldn't say every year, but there's a specific protocol for starting over. So now moving into 2024, Jupiter is in Aries, Aries representing that Ganesha energy, that new beginning energy, that Jagannath energy, where whatever you set your mind to, you're able to really bring it into existence. And this is the sun in Sagittarius. And then let me see if I can just scroll down, the moon in Gemini. And how do these energies reflect and show us new show us that connecting to spirit is the way to go? Well, these particular energies, Sagittarius and Gemini, when you look at them on an astronomy app, you'll see the Milky Way on top of these particular constellations. So when you are studying astronomy, you just simply, or astronomy, sidereal astrology, however you look at it, the energies associated with the Milky Way are concentrated, powerful energies. This time is a concentrated, powerful time to do spiritual work, intentional work, magical work. You know, you gotta have some form of altar work, some form of meditation, some form of witchcraft, some some type of arsenal that allows you to connect to spirit, right? And the learning. So in astrology, this formation of sun, moon, and then the moon would be trine Jupiter, and then the sun would be sextile Jupiter. This triangle that I just so crudely drew represents a learning triangle. And in astrology, when you look at an astrology chart, it's not to pump you up, make you look good, feel good, sound good, more than it is for you to get a specific diagnosis on what your problem is. The same way as a doctor look at a medical chart, he's not looking at a medical chart to see how pretty you are or see how successful you are. When you look at your chart, you can really figure out a way to figure out your life. And a learning triangle is one of those formations that presents to you, I wouldn't say a negative situation, but something that you could specifically learn from. And if you could specifically learn from it, overcome it, then this 2024 is going to be, a powerful year. But if you put yourself in the position of doing the same shit that you was doing in 2023, you ain't thinking about no ways of doing nothing different. Like, and you don't even have it set up. Like, what I'm talking about is foreign to you. Like, you're not prepared for a new beginning. Then, baby, this world is crazy. And as much as I want to tell niggas that it's going to be okay, I can't really, in all honesty, say that because I've seen niggas not do the work and it not be okay. And it's like people get so confused on what work do I have to do? the work of integrating your shadow self being your unaware aspects. And your unaware aspects is not generally something bad. You not, it is the greater part of yourself, and you not putting yourself in the position to be the best person. And it's 2024 and you still got emotional blockages. This is why in this year you're supposed to have those conversations. You're supposed to do that fucking work. It should be no reason in your relationship where your partner don't know exactly how you coming, to the point where it should be some reconciliations, some breakups, or something. Because if the relationship is the same as it been in 2023, 2022, 2021, 2024 is going to get worse. Why is the energy subject to get worse? Because we are in a completely new cycle. And that's like saying the teepees that the Indians built is coming back in style. No, they're not coming back in style. That way of construction, we don't even build houses like that no more. So you trying to balance and build from a toxic place, a negative emotional place, that foundation is not a substantial foundation for you to build the future. And if you don't understand the power of your ancestors, the power of your soul, then how are you able to move forward in this world? Because you relying on some weird shit to be your motivation, like the economy, um, the war, um, reality shows, the Zeus network, whatever the case may be, AI music, AI movies. Yeah, what you mean AI music, AI movies? If you watching Netflix, 50% of the shit you watching is written, and actually the actors is AI. You said, Kyrie, what you talking about? The actors is AI. What was that show that came out with the Spanish girl? I want to say Black Mirror, but I don't necessarily think it was Black Mirror. It might have been Black Mirror. It was an episode, and it was a girl who had she was watching TV, and everything she watched on TV was everything she just experienced throughout that day. And she had this famous actor playing her. And then she confronted the famous actor, like, you need to stop doing this, because niggas that was watching the show was like, they knew. It was like Jane is angry or something like that. I think it was Black Mirror, but don't quote me. So the at the end of the story, I think the lady that was playing her was Selma Hayek. She confronts Selma Hayek like, you gotta stop playing me on this show because it got me looking crazy. Selma Hayek was like, I ain't playing you on this fucking show. They took my likeness, and my likeness is made with AI, right? So all your favorite celebrities, all that shit is all AI. You like this song jamming? It was produced by AI. Man, I love his voice. The voice is AI. So a lot of the things that you call entertainment is artificial intelligence, not real intelligence. The deduction is people are dumb as hell. Like dumb as a box of rocks. So moving forward off of, like, man, Jupiter had to be somewhere way back in Leo or something. Like it had to be years ago when this shit was popping. The way that this world entertainment and and celebrities is weirdos, it gotta be under some form of a case study at this particular moment. Because the way that these people have fell off, it should let you know that we is entering a new time in a new space. But the main theory that I want to get out to y'all is, what is the narrative that you carry with you moving into 2024? Since we have a full moon is the introduction to a waning moon. What narrative are you ready to let go of? Like, and maybe you haven't thought about this throughout 2023, so you might have to put it into hyperdrive and fast forward a process that should have took a year to release. Fine, right? But you got 14 days to release it. Cool, it's possible, because the power of a waning moon is probably one of the most powerful spiritual tools you could ever utilize as far as your spiritual tool belt. Meaning that I'm holding on to something, I'm going to let this shit go. The most powerful thing you could ever do. Because when you talk about emotions and you talk about psychosis and negative vibrations, you're also talking about human beings unable to let shit go. And when you talk about Jupiter and Pisces moving into Aries, you're essentially saying everything that I've experienced over this past 12 years, I've learned the lesson, right? Because you got to think about it from a particular perspective. Like 12 years ago, your ass was probably working in a factory somewhere, getting your ass kicked. You know, you was working at a call center somewhere, with a work husband or some weird shit like that. Fast forward 12 years later, you got your own business, you done clouded up, you done figured some things out, you moving a little bit more strategically. So you can look at some things like, I'm proud of myself, but then over these 12 years, you've been on dating sites, social media, you've been hooking up, you've been linking up, you've been doing sneaky links, you've been doing a whole bunch of shit that, cannot come into 2024. So the reality of the degradation of spiritual development is that you take stuff with you, but you let most of it go. And most people don't understand that. Most people do not get that you gotta let the shit go, whatever it is. And you only keeping your hard skills, meaning that if you take everything away from me, I would still be this person. So, like, looking at this particular chart, looking at this particular Jupiter, you almost got to put yourself in a position of not having shit. And then who are you? Because if who you are is defined by what you have, then this 2024 is crazy. This 2023 was extra crazy because you had to start over. How you going to start over when you identify by what you have, where you live, or what you're doing? So then you see a lot of people pump themselves up by what they have as an indication of who they are. And then, Kanye lose all of his subscriptions and all of his deals and sponsorships. Diddy, everybody stopped fucking with Diddy and the whole planet. And you start to think, like, why is this happening to all of these people? Tory Lanez, one of the biggest stars we ever seen, get reduced to a common criminal, right? This nigga in jail doing prison time, singing Akon songs, talking about I'm locked up, they won't let me out, type shit. And you got to really think about a millionaire with big booty bitches twerking in their face, gold chains, entourages, to just being saying, I'm locked up, they won't let me out. He's sending letters to Diddy like, yeah, man, it's cool up here, really. It ain't gonna be as bad once you get here. Like, I know at first it's scary, but I have a pack for you waiting for you when you get here, Diddy. You bringing TD Jakes with you too? Cool, cool, cool. I'll see if they got the family dorm, so we'll probably work out. Oh, they bringing Bill Cosby too. Cool. Yeah, it's me, R. Kelly. Yep, we just chilling, man. Y'all can come through. Literally makes no sense, but it's a way to live. It's a way to be. It's a cycle of giving and receiving. See, when you operate from, see, when you remove the chart from your life, when you remove the moon from your life, the natural process is just to get. And if you tell a nigga, hey, why you working so hard? Why you doing all of this? They can't ever think like, man, maybe I don't need this house. Maybe this big ass house is too much for me and I need to downsize. If you look at a chart, it's easy to come to that realization. But if you're just a human being, you're only going to think about the more shit that you can have or that you can get, doing more things that you can accomplish, because the basis of all of this is fear. But fear is not in reference to anything. It's not like animals don't even operate in this, like, it's not a real thing. Fear is a man-made construct to keep you in a mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual prison. When we talk about a sun and Sagittarius, you have to deal with your spirit team more than you deal with human beings, because your spirit team is willing to save your ass. A nigga is going to tell you to kiss your ass. You see the difference? You either want your ass saved or you want or you going to be kissing ass in 2024. I don't have no time for people in their bullshit. Because as the energy, because if you understand, the collapse of civilization is not the end of life, but the collapse of civilization presents an opportunity to build up a new civilization, then you get on the ball. But once again, if the narrative is 2023, 2022, 2021, 2020, that narrative, excuse me, will not sustain you moving forward. You don't know. You have no idea. And the only people that can help you in this point in time is your spirit team. And if you don't meditate, if you don't do any spiritual work, you don't do any altar work, you are going to fucking suffer. That's the only word that comes to my mind to describe the energy that you will be experiencing. It's more of an ancestral, archaic, tribal, rooted understanding of life for which one must ascertain for themselves. Meaning that you got to start to wonder why in all cultures and all civilizations through all time, motherfuckers was doing offerings. You cannot tell me a culture and a civilization ancient that did not do offerings. Now, the question for you in this 2023 going into 2024 time, why in the fuck do you feel like you don't have to do offerings? Like, offerings is not a natural part of your life. You have to start asking yourself, why did every culture throughout all time in history in memoriam have some form of ritual? Then you got to ask yourself in 2023, going into 2024, why in the fuck do I not have a ritual, organized ritual set out for myself? So I can, and why do you do rituals? Why do you do spiritual work? so you can know who the fuck you are. So when you connect to the ancestors, when you connect to your ancestors, you connect to yourself because your ancestors' DNA live inside of you. Without your ancestors' DNA, you personally would not have no DNA. Every aspect of your DNA literally comes from your ancestor. Your mother and your father's lineage lives inside of you right now. You don't do any work to connect to them, i.e., you do no work to connect to yourself. You do not know who you are. You are a conglomeration, a buildup of billions of ancestors. That's who you are. And if you don't have a grasping of that, you don't have a grasping of shit. So when you stick your chest out, puff your chest out, say a whole bunch of nonsense, argue with your girlfriend, tell her how she ain't treating you right, and doing all of this shit, you just don't know who the fuck you are. Because once you know who you are, you don't start begging and pleading for anybody or anything. Listen, Jupiter moving into Aries, and if people like it's like a sign of the times. It's a bus, it's a train. And as a human being, you might want to get from point A to point B, and you see a vehicle that's willing to take you to point B, and you get your ass on that bus, and niggas is standing outside of that bus, and you gotta stay on that fucking bus and say, I hope I see you I hope I see you at the crossroads. Or, right, because we also always keep certain things in mind when we dealing with our chart. Pluto is in Capricorn. Pluto, the planet of transformation. You Capricorn is symbolic of a mountain goat. A mountain goat is symbolic of an individual that is willing to go to the higher realms to get sustenance. A mountain goat is not eating the same food as no other fucking animal because a mountain goat is willing to go to different places, higher places within their consciousness. If you are an individual and you're wanting more out of life, the very definition of that is motherfuckers ain't going to be able to come with you. The very definition is literally about 2 or 4 mountain goats up there. It's baby mountain goats. A baby mountain goat can miss a fucking ledge, and that's the end of the baby mountain goat's life. In order to be a mountain goat, you gonna have to jump from ledge to ledge, climb higher places without dying. All I'm saying is that you can't do what everybody else is fucking doing out here in the streets and call yourself spiritually aware and all of this type of shit. So by nature, by definition, if you want to go somewhere in life, concern yourself with people who just aren't trying to do shit. They're not, listen, don't ask me why. Don't ask me for a dissertation, some journaling, some reflection, some introspection as to why people don't want to be better versions of themselves. I have no answer for that. The only answer that I could probably come up with is that it takes a lot of fucking work to be the best version of yourself. It's almost as if it's a job. And when you have a no call, no show, your soul don't fire you. It just don't give you no results. And you got to think why you would clock in and clock out for a job and get a certain amount of money, but you won't clock in and clock out for your purpose. You won't clock in and clock out for, becoming a better version of yourself. I look at people in the face, up and down, and say, oh, you got emotional blockages. I can look at you and tell. if you don't deal or exercise those emotional blockages, then emotional blockages like this, I can give you everything you need. I can tell you everything you need to hear, but your emotions is always going to throw you the fuck off. I'm 39 years old. I've been doing this shit since 2016. Meaning I've dealt with so many people that have allowed their emotions to block them from what spirit had for them, what God had for them. People always talk about certain things as far as like imposter syndrome, as if they actually understand it from a perspective. Like I've been having this conversation a lot, mainly in every reading that I've been having, people saying, well, I've had some form of imposter syndrome. And when I hear them say it, I say that's not imposter syndrome. Let's deal with this because we have to deal with this because niggas that think I'm crazy. Let me cut off my annotation and let's look up imposter syndrome. Peace to the tribe, peace to the collective. Give me a one in the chat if you enjoying this conversation, and I'll check that out. Imposter syndrome is the condition of feeling anxious and not experiencing success internally despite being high performing in external objective ways. This condition also results in people feeling like a fraud or a phony, doubting their abilities. Now, at first, it might seem right and exact, but then you got to also read the most important part of imposter syndrome is that you are high performing in the external. You can't have imposter syndrome and be sitting on your ass. Imposter syndrome makes you stop doing what you are good at or stop living in your purpose, but your purpose is real. Who you are is real. Your greatness is real. Imposter syndrome is when you don't see your greatness, but in spite of the fact that you are high performing, it's a mind fuck. Where inside you feel like you ain't shit, so you create all of these things on the external, but you never appreciate it. So it's almost like when you look in the mirror, you see a cat, but the real thing is a fucking lion. So, in order for you to not be an imposter, you can't say, I'm a little cat and I wish I was a big lion. The fact that you are an imposter is because you're a big lion and you acting like a fucking little cat. That's what make you imposter. So, if you simply reflect on are, who you truly are, if you knew who you truly are, who you really are, you would be able to understand this energy. But if you went through 2023 on some emotional stuff, you never even seen yourself because who you are don't have nothing to do with how you feel about the person that you're not. The work that it takes to figure out who you are is the work that is being encapsulated and encoded in Capricorn with Pluto. And as you see, Pluto is just now beginning to show you who you are. You got a lot of learning to do. But if you do not, you can't learn who you are through emotions. As a man, as a woman, how you feel about who you are is complete and utter and total bullshit. meaning that are you willing to put the work in for yourself? Yes, if you are free from emotional blockages. No, if emotional blockages is there. But the fight with the fight with emotions is I am mad, I am sad, I am angry, I am this, I am that. That is you taking on the emotion and wearing the emotion like a coat. What do you mean I'm wearing the emotion like a coat? Because if you're not angry, what happened to it? Oh, I'll put it down somewhere. But I'll pick it up. You want me to pick it up? No, I don't want you to pick up the coat. Leave the coat where it's at. Because it goes from I am sad to I am angry. Oh, you got on that angry coat today. No, I got on that. How you doing? I'm cool. Oh, you got on a cool coat. How you doing? I'm sad. Oh, you got on a sad coat. Oh, I'm angry. So you pick up these coats, putting these coats down, right? Addicted to these coats. You love these coats. But the reality is that it's a mere coat. You are not angry. What do you mean I'm not angry? Yo, when you was born, your mama did not call you angry, motherfucker. How you introducing yourself as angry? Hi, my name is Angry. No, the fuck is not. That's a coat that you're choosing to wear. And you got to think about these emotional states, emotional conditions as coats and get rid of them because I'm 39 years old, meaning that I'm old enough to see people who never toxified or detox themselves from negative emotions. They never got rid of those emotions. And guess what those negative emotions did? They killed them, murdered them, got rid of them, took them out. No pass go, no resuscitation. I'm old enough to see it. Y'all might not be old enough to y'all think it's a game to whereas maybe one day something will happen and I will feel different. If emotions is not real, nothing is going to happen to make you feel different other than you doing the spiritual work and figuring out who the fuck you are. Can't find out who you are with emotions. You are outside of the emotional realm as a spiritual being. And it has to be that way because people going to transition the way they going to transition. However, right, the way people do it, they like every day God give you a chance. Imagine somebody 70 or 80, 90 years old. That's God giving you a chance to take that fucking coat off. And the reason that I reference my age, because I see that the older people get, the more that coat becomes more like a tattoo, meaning it's harder to get rid of. So the emotional patterns that you create for yourself is your emotional patterns for your whole entire life on this earth. And your soul goes, you can't be a low down dirty bitch and be in unison with your soul. You can't be a do dirty, grimy ass nigga and be in unison with your soul. The reason that you are acting in these do dirty, grimy ways is because your emotions put you in a perpetual state of fear, fight or flight, and you feel that you need to do these things in order to protect yourself, and you gonna operate like this throughout your whole life, and when it's all said and done, you never got a chance to know who you are. You don't know who you are because your thoughts, feelings, emotions prevent you from seeing yourself. If you don't feel like meditating, you won't meditate. If you don't know why you should meditate, you won't meditate. So we're talking about narratives, narratives, new experiences, a new year. What do your ancestors have planned for you? What are you going to be revealed? Spirit said, don't make no intentions, don't make no plans, because we're going to reveal what you need to see. So your thing is to get close to spirit in reference to this full moon ushering us into this new year. So hopefully that was something that would assist you in, this week preparing for this week and, getting your mind and shit right. My thing is let go. Let go of the emotional patterns once and for all, create new beginnings. But ultimately though, you should already be in this type of mode to whereas if you just if what I'm saying causes you to oh shit, I gotta like if I'm waking you up to new beginnings, then that's crazy. Right? That's super crazy. You should already know what the fuck I'm talking about to whereas the decisions that you make are easier to make because one decision reflects staying in the past energy and the new decision reflects on allowing spirit to reveal what you should do. Now, what is the personal responsibility for you? You need to look at yourself in your self development like it's a job. Do not be a no call, no show for your spirit team, for your ancestors. If your spirit is going to send you messages of revelation, you have to be prepared to act. You have to be prepared to act. And that's where we get Jupiter and Aries. Sun in Sagittarius, connecting to your spirit team for real, like for real. And so the sun in Sagittarius, the sextile to Jupiter would be connecting to my ancestors in spite of the fact that I just, had an orgy yesterday. Despite of the fact that I stole some goddamn cornbread from Aldi's the other day. It was 2.99 and I only had 2.50 and I didn't want to deal with the embarrassment, so I just stole it. Right? So damn, I stole that goddamn cornbread. I can't work with my ancestors. The sextile presents a little bit of effort, but if you work through that little bit of effort of who you think you are, any type of negative feelings, emotions, and say, fuck it, I'm gonna still work with my ancestors, even though I'm a flawed individual, I'm a fucked up person. The sextile, the sextile balances itself out. The moon, you have to really you have to really be mindful of your mental health. And mental health in this space with children and people in your life, cool, right? Because you'll be trying to maintain their mental health while your mental health is suffering. Now, taking care of yourself with a trine to Jupiter, taking care of yourself with a trine to Jupiter is saying when you take care of yourself, in spite of World War III happening in your house, in spite of your daughter just starting the OnlyFans and whatever the case may be, your husband starting the OnlyFans, whatever the case may be. Hey, if they want to start OnlyFans, if people want to go to the moon, whatever the fuck people want to do, my mental health comes first. Right. If you are able to identify your mental health in accordance with a trine to Jupiter, then ultimately you will be able to be on this new pathway, this new train, this new bus that represents where you should go. So once again, spirit is going to reveal what you should do. Your mental health is going to be strong to be saying, I'm not crazy. I've done spiritual work, intentional work, and spirit has revealed these things to me. So now that all of these things are in lock, stock, and barrel, I am ready to act in accordance with my luck, with my opportunity, with my fortune. So one part of the mental health is saying, I feel this way, I feel that way, I feel this way. And then spirit give you an opportunity. You don't even see the opportunity because you so busy talking about how you feel. I feel this way, I feel that way. This is why the moon and Gemini, you got to get that mental health intact, in tow. Because you could be, and this is why we start the conversation. I always want to bring it back to the narratives that you tell yourself that keep you in this state of being and consciousness, but also block you out from what spirit has to offer to you. Because every day is an opportunity for spirit to reveal something to you, but you have to be willing to act in accordance with it. Don't ask no questions. Don't look left or right. Spirit say go, you gotta go. Spirit say jump, you say how high. Okay. So I hope that was informative. I hope that brought you some clarity, some assistance, and you're able to go through this transit uh easier than would be if you didn't have any instruction or any advisement. If you guys need a reading or anything like that, be sure to hit me up, hoodmystic.setmore.com. You can get shadow work consultation. You can get a mini reading. You can get astrology reading. I know for a fact that my readings are priced affordable. I just want to make sure that people are getting the help that they need in these times. If you have the extra resources, reach out, hit me up, hoodmystic.setmore.com. Be sure to come to the sacral chakra activation. I pushed it back, not this week, so it's not going to be next Sunday. It's going to be the Sunday after next. So a lot of these videos will be in reference to the emotional body, doing emotional work, because emotionality is one of the components, the Kundalini, meaning that when you work with your spirit, when you work with your soul, it is you always feel good, right? When you don't work with your soul and you are not in communication with your soul, everything feels like the end of the world. Everything feels like the shit is about to tumble down. It's all bad. It won't never be good. It's all in reference to working with your soul, and how you feel is your emotions, and your emotions will be the number one block to doing this soul work. So in this conversation that I'm gonna be having is to break down every emotional barrier between your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. Sacral chakra is one of my favorite subjects because if it wasn't for the balancing and regulation of my emotions as a man, I'm a man that grew up with a single mom. And so how I handled things was through the dysregulation of emotions. And so in order for me to be on my spiritual path, I had to learn how to regulate my emotions, identify my emotions, journal, things of that nature have saved my life to be the person that I am today, right? Because I could have been an emotional wreck and crashed out a long time ago, right? But thanks to this science, thanks to this information, I'm a man that, doing the best that I can to regulate who I am. And so that to me is a gift. I'm gonna be sharing that with y'all in 2 weeks. It's the Chakra Nova Sacral Chakra lecture. that'll be taking place. So I'll put the links in the description. And if y'all have any questions, email me, hoodmystic@gmail.com. Or if you want to DM me, go ahead and do that. I'm on Instagram at the Hood Mystic. Thank y'all for tuning in and tapping in with me this morning. And I will see y'all in the next video. Peace.